What if I told you there's a country where Facebook doesn't exist, Instagram is banned, and Wi-Fi at home, forget about it? Sounds like a dystopian movie, right? But nope. This place is real. Welcome to Eritrea, a land where women once grabbed rifles to defend their homeland, where coffee isn't just a drink, it's a sacred ritual, and where the streets still whisper with Italian charm. Right in the middle of Africa. Crazy? It gets wilder. In this video, the Shin takes you deep inside one of the most secretive and fascinating countries on the planet. Get ready for 10 shocking truths you won't believe are real. So, how does a country vanish from the digital world and still survive? Let's find out. Number 10. One of the most isolated countries in the world. You've heard of North Korea, right? Now meet its African twin, Eritrea. Since becoming independent in 1993, this country has built walls higher than we can see. Not physical ones, but walls of silence. No elections, no private news, no freedom to speak out. It's like the pause button was hit and never released. In 2024, Eritrea ranked dead last, yes, 180 out of 180, on the Global Press Freedom Index. All independent newspapers? Gone since 2001. Many journalists? Still locked up? No trial? No voice? And the internet? Forget it. Only about 1.4% of the population can go online, the lowest on Earth. Imagine a world where logging into Facebook or even sending a quick WhatsApp message is nearly impossible. Traveling, heavily restricted. Foreign aid, mostly rejected. Even money from relatives abroad is watched like a hawk. Beneath the postcard beauty of colonial streets and shimmering Red Sea shores is a country sealed off from the world. People whisper, streets listen, and silence becomes survival. Eritrea isn't just isolated, it's hidden, and that might be the most chilling part. Number 9. Asmara, an Italian city in Africa. I only long out dealing with you. Welcome to Asmara, the capital of Eritrea. A place so full of Italian charm, you might think you've accidentally landed in Rome. If Rome were dropped right into the middle of East Africa. Picture this. Cozy vintage cafes serving strong espresso, dreamy Art Deco cinemas, and grand Romanesque churches. Sounds European? That's because it is. Or at least, it was. Back in the early 20th century, Italy turned Asmara into the crown jewel of its East African empire. Between 1935 and 1941, over 400 sleek European-style buildings popped up all over the city, from elegant villas and stylish hotels to retro gas stations that look like they belong in a sci-fi movie. And they're still standing, like the stunning Cinema Impero, the majestic Church of Our Lady of the Rosary, or the post office that could double as a film set. But here's the real twist. Asmara isn't loud or chaotic like many other capitals. It's calm, peaceful, almost frozen in time. There are no skyscrapers, no honking horns, no rush. Just tree-lined streets, soft breeze, and locals sipping espresso on quiet mornings. Milan style. In 2017, UNESCO stepped in and said, "Yep, this place is a global treasure," officially naming it a World Heritage Site. Asmara is now recognized as one of the best preserved examples of modernist Italian architecture outside of Italy. So next time someone tells you Africa is just about safaris and deserts, ask them if they've ever heard of Little Rome in Eritrea. Would you ever expect to find a piece of Europe hidden under the African sun? Stick around. It only gets more surprising from here. Number 8. Warrior women, Eritrea's real-life snipers. Think snipers and soldiers are all men. Think again. In Eritrea, some of the most feared fighters weren't men, they were women. And not just behind the scenes. We're talking about frontline warriors, elite snipers, and battlefield commanders. During Eritrea's 30-year war for independence against Ethiopia, nearly 1/3 of the guerrilla army was made up of women. Yep, you heard that right, 30%. These weren't symbolic figures. These women trained hard, marched for days, survived harsh deserts, and went toe-to-toe in firefights. Some became legends. They were known as Eagle Eyes of the Highlands, able to hit targets from hundreds of meters away. Cool under pressure. Sharpshooters, heroes. And when the war finally ended, some traded rifles for stethoscopes, chalkboards, or canvases, becoming doctors, teachers, artists. Others stayed in uniform, especially since Eritrea still has one of the longest national service programs in the world. But here's the part that'll really stay with you. In Eritrea, these warrior women aren't just war stories. They're symbols of equality, courage, and independence. They change the way a nation sees its daughters. So next time you picture a freedom fighter, ask yourself, could she be a woman? Could she be Eritrean? Stick around. The surprises from this country are far from over. Number 7. Meccoll Festival, the sacred flame of the highlands. Each year on Eritrea's windswept highlands, thousands gather to celebrate Meccoll, an ancient fire festival with roots stretching back thousands of years. Held in late September, Meccoll is not just a religious event, but a grand cultural celebration where communities light massive bonfires in town squares to commemorate the discovery of the true cross by Saint Helena, according to Eastern Christian tradition. From elders to children, everyone dons vibrant traditional attire. Bundles of dry wood are tied into pyramid-shaped structures called damera, then set ablaze as the sun dips below the horizon. As flames roar into the night sky, people sing ancestral hymns, dance in circles, and create an enchanting, almost mythical atmosphere in the darkness of the highlands. Meccoll is celebrated not only in the capital Asmara, but also in rural villages, where the festival retains its raw authenticity. No stage lights, no modern frills, just people, sacred fire, and a faith passed down through generations. It stands as one of the oldest surviving religious festivals in Africa, a rare moment where the ancient and the present merge into a single spiritual breath across the land of Eritrea. Number 6. The most pristine coastline in East Africa. Tucked along the shores of the Red Sea, Eritrea boasts over 1,200 kilometers of untouched coastline, stretching from its southern tip to the remote Dahlak Islands, a forgotten treasure of the world. While neighboring countries have turned their coasts into bustling tourist hubs, Eritrea's beaches remain stunningly unspoiled. No luxury resorts, no crowds, just turquoise waters, white sands, and pure, unfiltered nature. The Dahlak Archipelago, Eritrea's largest island chain with over 200 coral islands, was once a thriving center of the ancient pearl trade. Today, it remains one of the most undisturbed marine ecosystems on Earth, home to vibrant coral reefs, dolphins, sea turtles, and countless tropical fish. Diving in Dahlak has been described as touching prehistory, where you can swim among marine life in a world with no Wi-Fi, no concrete, and no pollution. Here, where the sun rises over deep blue waters, life slows down to the rhythm of waves and salty winds. Tiny fishing villages and quiet wooden boats create a scene that feels both timeless and poetic. Eritrea's coastline stands as one of East Africa's most secretive and alluring destinations, reserved for those willing to journey off the beaten path in search of raw, untouched beauty. Number 5. A traditional coffee ceremony that lasts for hours. In Eritrea, drinking coffee isn't just a habit. It's a sacred, slow, and deeply communal ritual known as buna. Unlike the quick espresso shots of modern life, this ceremony can last from 1 to 2 hours and forms the heart of every family gathering or village get-together. It all begins with raw coffee beans. The woman hosting the ceremony roasts them over hot coals until their rich aroma fills the air. The beans are then ground by hand in a stone mortar and brewed in a traditional clay pot called a jabina. The scent of coffee blends with soft wafts of incense, creating an atmosphere that feels almost spiritual. Uniquely, the coffee is not served all at once, but in 3 distinct rounds. Awel, strong and bold; Kalayi, milder; and Baraka, meaning blessing. Each round carries symbolic meaning, representing sharing, connection, and goodwill among those present. This ceremony is more than a way to enjoy coffee. It's a moment of soulful connection, where people talk, listen, and honor tradition. In a world driven by speed, Eritrea's coffee ritual offers a rare, quiet slice of time. A gentle reminder to slow down and simply live. Number 4. Italian colonial legacy and cultural diversity. Eritrea is one of the few African countries where the legacy of European colonialism, specifically Italian influence, remains vividly preserved. From the early 20th century until 1941, Eritrea was an Italian colony, and that heritage still echoes through its architecture, cuisine, language, and daily life. A stroll through the streets of Asmara, the capital, reveals Art Deco buildings, vintage European-style cinemas, classic gas stations, and cafes adorned with Italian signage. Locals still order macchiatos in the morning, enjoy pasta for lunch, and many elders speak Italian more fluently than English. But Eritrea is not just a relic of Europe. It's also a cultural mosaic where East African, Arab, and Eastern Christian traditions blend seamlessly. The country is home to 9 indigenous ethnic groups, each with its own language, attire, dances, and customs. It is also one of the rare African nations where Christianity and Islam coexist peacefully within everyday community life. This fusion of East and West, ancient and modern, has shaped a truly unique Eritrean identity, one that breathes Mediterranean charm while staying rooted in authentic African soul, a rare cultural symphony in the heart of the continent. Number 3. Terraced fields on arid land. When people think of Eritrea, they often imagine a sun-scorched land of deserts and drought. But tucked among its rocky mountains and harsh highlands, terraced fields appear like a miracle, a testament to human resilience carved into the unforgiving terrain. In the central and southern highlands, local communities, especially the Tigrinya farmers, have transformed steep, barren slopes into neatly stacked terraces where they grow barley, millet, teff, and legumes. These terraces are more than just a farming method. They are symbols of survival and ingenuity passed down through centuries. Each step is carefully built by hand, using native stones to retain water and prevent erosion, a traditional technique refined over generations. Thanks to this, Eritrean farmers have managed to cultivate green life in regions where rain only falls a few times a year. Viewed from above, the curved terraces ripple through the sun-baked red soil like graceful lines etched by hope and hard work. In Eritrea, farming isn't just a livelihood. It's a quiet battle between human determination and the forces of a harsh, natural world. Number 2. Ultra-low cost of living, but life isn't easy. Eritrea is considered one of the countries with the lowest cost of living in the world. With just $100 to $150 per month, a person can cover basic needs like food, housing, and daily essentials. A full meal at a local eatery costs as little as $1 to $2, and a traditional Italian-style espresso in the capital Asmara might be just 50 cents. However, cheap prices don't mean life is easy. Eritrea operates a closed economy with strict import restrictions and tight currency controls. People can't freely exchange money or use bank cards, and basic goods like soap, fuel, and powdered milk are often in short supply. On top of that, the average monthly wage ranges from just $50 to $80, making even low-cost items a financial burden for many families. A significant portion of the population relies on remittances from relatives abroad, but even these transfers are closely monitored and restricted by the government. In Eritrea, the cost of living may be low, but maintaining a stable life is far from simple. Daily existence is a fragile balance of thrift, adaptability, and coping with scarcity, a reality only those who've lived inside the country truly understand. Number 1. Hilbit, the strange fermented dish that embodies the spirit of Eritrea. If you're visiting Eritrea, don't expect elaborate or spicy dishes like those found in Asian cuisine. Instead, you'll likely encounter Hilbit, a traditional dish that looks like grayish-brown mush and has a flavor that might shock first-time visitors. Hilbit is made from ground lentils or fava beans that are naturally fermented over several days. After fermenting, the mixture is gently heated and blended with garlic, cumin, and a dash of oil. No meat, no sugar, no sweetness at all, yet humorously nicknamed the fermented bean candy. For Eritreans, Hilbit is more than a humble daily meal. It's a symbol of simplicity, health, and vegan living. It's typically served with injera, the country's sour flatbread made from teff flour. During the long fasting periods observed by the Orthodox Christian calendar, Hilbit becomes a staple savior dish, affordable, easy to store, and packed with plant-based protein. While Hilbit might be a culture shock for newcomers to locals, it's the soul of Eritrean cuisine, a rustic comfort food that has nourished generations in a land where resilience is served with every meal. Eritrea, a nation forgotten, yet full of unbelievable wonders. Eritrea, a country seemingly lost in the heart of Africa, hides 10 truths that are as strange as they are astonishing. From a one-of-a-kind fermented dish, to coffee ceremonies that stretch for hours, to fearless women who once took up arms to defend their homeland. This isn't just a destination, it's a parallel world, where norms are challenged and every experience leaves you reflecting. If you're drawn to journeys that go beyond the ordinary and to raw, eye-opening stories of the world's most unique places, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Shin so you won't miss the next extraordinary destination.